Ever since I started Privada Cigar Club, all I ever wanted to do was make you happy. This month, I want to talk about crafts, about how taking something as meticulous as rolling and aging the best cigars in the world and then daring to make them fun is the truest form of joy I know. Cigars don't have to be stiff. They don't have to be serious all the time. They can be playful. They can be nostalgic. And this box, the Happy Meal box, is my way of showing you that craft and fun can live together in the same smoke. We start with the Happy Meal itself. Rolled at Tabacalera La Perla in Nicaragua and aged 3 years, this 6x51 delivers Maduro magic. Cocoa powder, roasted peanut, warm leather, caramel sweetness. It's all in there. It's childhood guilty pleasures reimagined. The toy isn't in the box, but the sweetness, the nuttiness, the richness. It's everything you loved back then, only better, only grown up. A cigar that proves fun and flavor can share the same stage. Castle Grayskull. But what's a Happy Meal without a toy? That's where Castle Grayskull comes in. This 6x60 beast, born at Tabacalera Annex, was originally blended over 8 years ago. It's got that Ecuadorian Habano wrapper with Nicaraguan and now Costa Rican guts that give it mystery and muscle. Thick, creamy clouds of graham cracker sweetness, Nutella, baking spices, roasted almond. It's nostalgia that hits back. By the power of Privada, I'm He-Man in this story. The Grayskull is the toy that never breaks, the one you still keep on the shelf long after the others are gone. The Sundae, and finally, dessert, the Sundae. This one comes from Privada HQ, the so-called ice cream factory, using rare Cuban seed gifted to us by Hector Luis Prieto Diaz, grown in Nicaragua, aged 4 years, and rolled under his own eye. Apricot, cedar, baking spice, honey toast, orange peel, cinnamon stick. It's legacy and indulgence, heritage and vision, all poured into one cigar. The perfect closer, the sweet finish you didn't know you needed. That's the box, the Happy Meal, Castle Grayskull, the Sundae. Nostalgia, craft, fun. Cigars that remind us life doesn't have to be one thing or the other, serious or silly, refined or playful. It can be both. And if I've done my job right, this month's box will make you feel like a kid again, only this time with better taste. Okay, so one thing I want you to pay attention to is when I show you the foot of the cigar, look in the layers of tobacco, and you're gonna see different colors of tobaccos. This is indicative of maybe a recipe having different layers of flavors, different colors all over the place. You know, when you look at that thing, like this pizza, it's got different colors all over the place. You know it's going to be bursts of flavors in every bite. And it's the same thing with cigars. When you see those layers, you know that these things are contrasting each other and you're going to get unique flavors out of that cigar. So just keep an eye on that. We'll talk about that more at the end. Now we have our beloved Farm Rolled. Farm Rolled for September 2025 is an excellent expression of what Dominican and Nicaraguan contrasting. Last month we did AJ and Eladio. This month we're getting some different factories in the mix, but we're starting to notice the difference. And that's the thing, when you're a Privada smoker, even if it's only farm rolled, I want you to know the difference. And so I'm including the card back in the box again. I think it was a mistake to ever take it away, and I want to apologize for that. Moving forward, for September of 2025, we're starting off with a 6x54. This is a Dominican San Andres. This is from a factory I've worked with for quite a while. They will remain nameless for relationship purposes. It's an afternoon smoke, nice hefty toro. You get a lot of cream and berries, a little bit of leather, a little bit of other nuanced flavors. It is a traditionally Dominican cigar with a San Andres wrapper. Moving along, we have our 6x42 Nicaraguan Connecticut Corona. Now, 6 inches sort of make it a Toro, but that 42 bring it back to a Corona or a short Lonsdale. So we have our 6x42. This is actually out of the Hoya de Nicaragua factory. This is a Connecticut Ecuadorian wrapper, all Connecticut binders and fillers. Another afternoon smoke, not quite a morning smoke. It's got some pecan syrup and white pepper. You could smoke it in the morning, but I recommend this one in the afternoon. Moving forward, our next cigar is a 6x50 Connecticut that is for the morning. It's a milder, nuanced cigar, but it's made with Connecticut tobaccos inside, which give it a little more pizzazz, we'll say, a little more sabor. It's made at Tabacalera La Perla, which is Guillermo Peña's factory that makes the Happy Meal in this month's LCA and the Rare Box. It's my premier cigar for the month. This, unlike that, is a Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, and we get notes of cedar, almond, and pepper. And now we're moving on to a 5x52 from the Kellner Boutique Factory. This is a Dominican puro. We get such amazing master blenders in farm rolled. It's the reason why the cigars should cost double and triple what they do in farm rolled. And they do on shelves with those bands on them, cost double, triple, quadruple. I cannot say enough about Hendrik Kellner, the son of Henke Kellner. He is an absolute, just probably one of the nicest people I've ever met, especially in this business, and one of the most craft forward blenders in our industry. He's a legend. This is a Dominican puro, and we're getting notes of apricot, sugar, and cedar. It's an afternoon cigar, really just after a good meal. This is farm rolled for September 2025. By the way, all of these cigars, I don't think there's one of them on this list that is not aged at least 2 years. So enjoy. Moving along to Brian's box. The A A Brugger. Now, for those of you that were around when this was released, this was an old brand that was defunct that a member of our team's, I think, great-grandfather owned and managed in Erie, Pennsylvania. It's called A A Brugger. The shop was at 125 West 24th Street in Erie. It was also known for its dark Pennsylvania wrapper, which we were able to find. This is a Pennsylvania broadleaf Maduro with a Pennsylvania broadleaf binder. The fillers are from Nicaragua, where they used to be from Cuba. This is an excellent cigar. It's a 5x52, and it's one of my kind of favorite Maduros over the past few years. I'm a big fan of it. I love the band, and I love the nostalgia. We're talking about the Great Lake Tobacconist's Put in Bay cigar. A lot of people will have never seen this. At a trip to Kellner Boutique Factory, there's this man sitting there, older gentleman named Richard Warren. He's from the Great Lakes and happens to make cigars with Hendrik Kellner. These cigars were fantastic. I was able to purchase, I don't know, like 1,000 or 2 of them from this guy. There was this one and something else called the Niagara. If I'm not mistaken, we'll bring that up for another Brian's box. I have just enough left. This is his Maduro, and it's made again at KBF. It has his picture on it. His stores seem to be permanently closed. Last I looked. I hope he's okay. I haven't been in touch with him in quite a long time, but I sure hope he's doing well. The amazing people you meet through cigars. And this is a fantastic cigar that has to have at least 3 to 4, maybe 5 years age on it. Enjoy. The Damnation. Well, I'm making a cigar with El Titan de Bronze a few years ago, and I can't figure out what to name it. It is bold and spicy. It has calmed down since then, I want to say that, but it was bold and spicy, almost too much. when I first received them. So we let them age for a year or so, maybe 2 years. I'd have to check the records, but now I would say this is aged 2 years. And you know, I'm always looking to, when I work with a cigar brand, give them something to work on. So if it becomes such a hot release, they can then use it for themselves. And that's my gift to working with these brands, and for these brands willing to work with me, especially in the beginning when we were no one. And so their big cigar is called the Redemption. And I looked up what's the opposite of redemption. It's the damnation. And so this is it. We gave it a demon style branding, which is very rare for me. I'm not into that kind of stuff. I'm not into horror movies and all that. But I thought it was really cool. It was playful for branding and marketing. And then they didn't come in cellophane, so we wrapped them in this red cello. And I also thought that was really cool. It makes it stand out. It's unique. It's rolled at the most expensive factory in our industry now, El Titan de Bronze, El Titan de Bronce in Little Havana on Calle Ocho. And the people behind this brand are just special legacy people that will never be forgotten in this industry. And so we're lucky to have a cigar made in Miami using a lot of great tobaccos. You can find more information on this cigar by Googling it. We have a Patisserie. This one is the orange. It's a Connecticut. It's rolled in the Dominican Republic. And that's all the information I can give you on it. I don't remember being able to talk about anything else about this brand. This brand was created by a billionaire friend of the club's from Europe. He came out with 3 different cigars. They were beautifully packaged. I actually ended up borrowing a lot of those packaging styles. Shout out to my people at Patisserie. I can say nothing else more about this other than you can see it's got some age on it, but you can go back to the original release, and I think the cigars already had some age on them, so they're probably 4 years aged. And I think this concludes a fantastic Brian's Box. What other Cigar of the Month Club can take you through history, through characters, through factories, through brands that are defunct? I mean, this is a really strong Brian's Box, and it's about time people start putting respect on Brian's Box, on the name. Put some respect on that. So we talk about craft, and we talk about cigars, and it's something that needs to be talked about because people are confusing the words. Craft means you make the cigars yourself by hand. That means you own the factory, okay? Any brand that goes to another country or wherever and buys cigars and puts their brand name on it, that's a boutique. That's boutique cigars. If you own your own factory, your craft. Now you can take it a step further and ferment your own tobacco. That's when you're really putting your own signature on it. But I want all of you to know the difference between craft and boutique. That's it. Boutique does not own their own factory. Craft does. That's it. Keep it super simple. So many people are botching this these days, and I want to have a talk with you about craft. Beyond that, craft is about making things with your hands. It's arts and crafts. I'm playing arts and crafts with the bands and the marketing and the imagery. The cigar factory is playing craft by touching these beautiful tobaccos, by growing them if they're really worth something, by fermenting and curing them, by creating their own techniques to make a truly unique product that no one else can really duplicate. That is craft. And so a lot of parts of my life are built around this craft idea. And so I want to share with you what my family and I do probably every other weekend. Last year for my wife's birthday, I bought her a wood fire pizza oven. She already made her own sourdough bread at home using a starter, and we kind of ran from there and started really deep diving into the craft of pizza making. Okay, and it's cool to be able to do this at home, not on a commercial level, because you get to use ingredients that you probably wouldn't use on a commercial level, and you end up getting a product that's truly second to none. And so one of the things that we like to do in our spare time is make pizza. And so this is that process, and this is the result. And so when we're not making pizza, we're roasting coffee, another craft. And with the coffee roasting, I don't do it by computer. I do it by timing it and experience. This is a part of the craft. This is the part that makes it special to me. This is craft. When you talk about craft cigars, you want to talk about making things by hand. That's what make it craft. Okay? And so if you noticed, when we looked at those cigars, the foot of those cigars that we put in these packs, most of them had multiple different colors. Look at that apex. Look at that. Look at that color. Have you seen that before? Maybe not. That's what's going to make it unique. And so now let's look at something that maybe came from a not so special process. Okay. Yes, they're still craft because the factory made them by hand. However, they're mass produced to a point where maybe some of the TLC is not there anymore. So you'll notice this unnamed cigar from an unnamed brand and unnamed factory. It's pretty vanilla looking. It's all pretty much the same color down there. And again, I don't want you to think that every cigar you look at the foot and it's all the same color, that it's not going to be a great cigar. But what I do want you to pay attention to is when you have those different colors, it means that the factory had a plethora of different, a bunch of different varieties of tobaccos to work with, and you're probably going to get a more unique experience. You know, Cuban cigars, I bet you if you look at the foot, you're mostly going to see the same color because it's from the same plant, maybe different primings, etc. But, you know, I think that there's something to be said about this. And if you look at the bottom of a lot of my cigars, they use a lot of different tobaccos, and that's great for flavor and for experience. So I want to talk to you about the LCA. There are a few things going on in the LCA this month that are fantastic. This is coming out in October. This is coming out. All three flavors, all three bangers, probably our best blends yet, thanks to Mr. AJ Fernandez. Love that guy. Crushing it. Next thing that's coming out this month is something people are raving about already. I'm getting some of the best emails I've ever gotten about this cigar. It's Apex. You will never know anything about this cigar other than it is unlike anything, and I mean anything. So you must go get one of these. Now, you will have a Robusto version in the December rare box, but please do yourself the favor and get that. Lastly, we already know that we're getting the Happy Meal in the box, in the LCA, as well as the rare box. And I did that for a reason. I wanted to see how it fares out. I think it's going to be really good. A, the members already have it, and they can get more of it through the LCA if they want it. B, other people will see our members with that cigar and say, hey, I want to try that too. And so that's really cool. By the way, that one's aged 3 years. We have a 4-year aged cigar here called the St. Pauli Girl. I bought this from Chico Ribas about 4 years ago, maybe a little further. He told me it had some more aging on it at the factory, but I only counted basically what we have here. It is a 6x52 Toro. It is a precursor to Oktoberfest. It is the St. Privada Girl. This is Michael Scott's favorite cigar. I hope you run out and get it, and it is a fantastic smoke, especially with a good beer, particularly an amber or a lager. Either one of those two you should do great with, but you can have it with just about anything. A good Pilsner will suffice. I also want to bring your attention to, and I'm going to start doing this once in a while, it's called Slept On. Hashtag Slept On. People slept on the Vici. It was made by Iroa. I got a lot of shops telling me they wouldn't take it just because it was made by Iroa. I have no idea that Iroa would have beef with any shops, but I was a little taken back by that. The Iroa family, for those of you that don't know, are probably the best manufacturer in Honduras using a Cuban seed. We've talked about that a million times. And they have a process that makes the most delicious Corojo tobacco you'll probably ever have. So I'm the kind of person, even if I don't like you, even if I know you don't like me, I'm still gonna smoke your stuff or buy your stuff or sell your stuff, because I want my people to be able to have the best experience, and I don't want to limit myself. So this cigar was slept on. It was my favorite cigar 3 months ago. I smoke it probably once or twice a week now. I was smoking it every night at the end of the night with my wife. It is just fantastic, and this cigar was slept on. And so the point of this video was about craft. And so when you look at these two side by side. This is a Connecticut that I absolutely love. It will be out in October. It's my daily smoke 2 to 3 times a day. And you can see, while it's not quite as drastic of a difference in color, you can see that there's different things going on in the foot of that cigar. Different tobaccos that have been bunched together that probably didn't come from the same plant, whereas the other looks like homogeneous. It's just the same, you know, it's not even tonally different. So that's that. Okay, this video has had a craft theme to it. I hope you enjoyed the Happy Meal. I hope you are able to comprehend what I'm saying. I know I'm a little nuanced in how I'm putting this out there, but craft is about taking care with each step of the process, like post-production aging of cigars. Okay, and that's where we come in, and that's where these brown cellos start to come out, and really cool things start to happen that never really happened in our industry before. So for all of us here at Privada Cigar Club and the Limited Cigar Association, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching, liking, commenting, and for getting involved with what we're doing. Hashtag we are Privada, hashtag we are the industry, hashtag we are family. Peace.